Hello everybody, in this video we're going to take a look at an easy way to take attendance when you're teaching remotely. So let's get started. Alright, so the idea is that you will have something that looks like this on your slideshows or whatever resources that you are sharing your screen with when you are in your Zoom or in your Google Meet. You'll give students a QR code and probably a link as well, something that looks a little bit something like this, where we have a chance for students to sign in, where they will have a QR code like we see, or you can just give them the link in the chat, and then at the end of the lesson you'll also have them sign out, where again they'll scan the same QR code again and sign out, or again you can give them the link. And the idea is these links and this QR code will go over to a Google form that students will fill out, both to sign in and to sign out, which will get you information and get you timestamps for when students came into the class and when they left. Alright, so let's go ahead and make this Google form which will track our attendance. So of course I already named it attendance. Next thing to do is change some of our settings. So we'll go up to the settings gear up on the top right. And we definitely want to collect email addresses. We have really no reason in this case to take response receipts, so I'm going to turn that one off. We will want to restrict users to your organization. And we do not want to limit to one response. Reason is, we're going to have students do this form twice per class. Alright, then we have other options here. Can they edit after submit? No, they don't need to do that. They don't need to see a summary. Under presentation, we don't need to have a progress bar. We don't need to shuffle the question order. We don't need the link to show another response. Maybe in the confirmation message, it wouldn't be a bad idea to give a reminder that students are supposed to be taking this form to sign in and sign out of the class. So maybe I'll put a note in here. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and save. So next up, we will just fill out this form. So we already have a title here. Of course, it's already called attendance. Maybe we'll put in a description here, and we'll say use this form to sign in and out of our live classes in Zoom or Google Meet or whatever you're using for your live classes. Then we'll go ahead and make our first question. As a matter of good practice for pretty much all your Google Forms that you make, it's always a good idea just to call your first question name, and it'll automatically flip over to being a short answer, and make sure it stays required. Then we'll make another question here. This one we're going to do a drop down, and what we'll do is we'll say, are you signing in to class? Or are you signing out of class? Okay, and then for our two options, we'll say signing in and signing out. Alright, so we have our Google form all ready to go. Now we will just get the link to the form. So we'll go up to the send button up in the top right, go to this little link icon and copy that link. Now we can go put this link wherever we want. Like I said earlier, you can just simply put the link right into the chat when you are in your Google Meet or you're in your Zoom. You can also make it available on your slideshows or on your activities or whatever screen that you're going to be sharing when you're in your Meet or your Zoom. So let's say, for example, we want to put it onto our slideshows. So let's go ahead and make our first slide here. I'll just call it, just today's lesson. And there's a couple things that we can do. One, we can make a hyperlink and leave the link right on the slide. This will be useful if you give your students the whole slideshows. A lot of teachers do that, where they'll make all the slideshows available. There's actually a video I made a little while ago talking about how you can make all of your class notes easily accessible to all your students. Check out the link in the description below for that. But if you want to put the link here, you can do that. You can also make a QR code. So what we can do is, maybe I'll just put a little note here on the slide. I'll say scan the QR code to sign in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use an extension that I have here. It is called QR Code Generator. I'll also put the link to the extension in the description below. But if you go and click on that extension icon, we have the option to put in a different link. So I'm going to go ahead and just paste in that Google Form link. And then I'm just going to right click right on top of QR code that it made for us, copy image, and I'll just paste it right over here on my slideshow. And here it is. It behaves just like a regular picture. So maybe I'll kind of put it over here off to the side. And I can style it up however I'd like. So maybe if I want to make it a little bit bigger. And there we go. Maybe put a fun border on it if I'd like. So maybe like a purple border, something like that. And if you want to have even more fun with it, kind of draw, students' eyes to it, you can use Giphy Stickers that are kind of a fun way to make some movable arrows or like circles or like pointers. So if you get the Giphy extension, I'll also put this link in the description for you as well. And you go over to the stickers section and you can just search for maybe pointer or arrows or circles or whatever you want. And so maybe I'll do this little emoji picture here. So I'm just going to drag this over from the extension right over to my slideshow. Notice it's going to bring in the actual GIF itself, but also have this little bit of text there. That just comes up in a separate text box, so you can just delete it. And there we go. So now I have this little pointer emoji thing. And I'll make it nice and easy. I'm going to turn it this way a little bit. I'm going to do horizontally. And I'll kind of style it up however I want. So maybe I'll kind of move over this little text box over here so it's a little bit easier to see. And I'll make this a little bit bigger. And there we go. Just like that, we have a pretty simple way to take attendance when you're virtually teaching in Google Meet or Zoom. Now, it should be noted that in the Google Meet Enterprise version, you do have the ability to take attendance, but that is only obviously for if your school pays for G Suite for Education Enterprise. If your school does the free version of G Suite for Education, you don't have that capability. So this is a nice, easy workaround way to take attendance when you are doing your live classes in Google Meet or Zoom or whatever video chat service you're using. And one other thing to mention as well, it's probably a good idea to duplicate this sign-in slide. That way students are going to sign in at the beginning of class and sign out at the end of class. So you'll get timestamps for when they signed in and for when they left. Okay, and it's up to you for, of course, how your exact attendance policy is going to work, of course, but let me just show you how you would do that. So super easy. All we have to do is just simply duplicate this sign-in slide, and we can just right-click right on top of it and do duplicate, or just copy all the contents. The sign-in form is going to be the same, therefore the QR code will be the same. And maybe just change one little thing here. I will just say maybe instead of use the QR code to sign in, I'll say use the QR code to sign out. That way, again, you'll have some nice information where you're able to tell when a student signed in and when they signed out. And finally, once you have your class done, you'll have all this attendance here in the Google form. Of course, it's a little bit easier to view the response in Sheets, so I like to do that. And of course, from here, this is where we'll see all of our timestamps. We'll see our students' email addresses, their names, and then what times that, of course, they were signing in and out of class. One last thing before we wrap up this video. If you're looking for more features and kind of more information from your attendance and you're using Google Meet, this extension here actually works really nicely. It's called Google Meet Attendance. Again, I'll put the link for it in the description below. But basically what it does is it'll take attendance and you can add extra stuff to it. Things like tracking what comments students left, that sort of thing. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and check that out. But with that said, I'll go ahead and wrap up this video. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.